There are a lot of amazing weapons hidden around the world of Fallout 4. Some of them you may have never even known about. So in this video, I will be showing you the locations of 12 weapons that you probably didn't know about or walked right past. But first, Christmas is right around the corner, so if you're looking for some great gift ideas, check out the link in the pinned comment below. Now the first weapon on the list is a very unique looking rifle that is also very powerful, and the only way to get it is to select the right dialogue when talking to an NPC. This will happen when you're talking to Mason, who will be the leader of the raider gang The Pack, during the first quest in Nuka World, where you will have to talk to the 3 leaders of the Nuka World raider gangs. Now before you talk to Mason, you will need to boost your charisma as much as possible, and then when talking to him you will need to only pick the dialogue options on the right, which are the more aggressive options, unless a speech check option appears. There will be 3 speech checks in total when talking to Mason, and each one will get harder and harder. But if you pass all 3 and only pick the dialogue options on the right, Mason will give you the legendary Problem Solver rifle. This is an amazing weapon as it will do some great damage, but the perk on it will increase its damage even more every time you land a shot on the same target. Now this legendary effect can also be found on the splatter cannon, which is sold at the Nuka World market, but the Problem Solver is free and it has a pretty unique paint job on it, and since the window to get the Problem Solver is so small, most people don't even know that it's in the game. The next weapon on the list can be found at the unmarked pump house location, which will be right here on your map to the right of Saugus Ironworks. When you get here, you will need to enter the pump house, and here you will find this small puzzle. By pressing the buttons on this terminal, you will enter a number above the button. When the right code is entered, the door on the right will open. The correct code is 10451. And in that new room behind the door, you will find the legendary Gainer Revolver. This revolver will have a great starting base damage of 48, and the perk on it will make it set targets on fire, dealing an additional 15 damage. The next weapon on the list can only be obtained by failing the When Pigs Fly side quest. This side quest will send you to hunt down a weapon schematic for a vendor named Suggs. But when you get that weapon schematic, you can choose to kill Suggs and keep the schematic for yourself. This will then let you loot the legendary Flacker grenade launcher from Suggs' body. This will be a very powerful grenade launcher that will do a lot of damage, and the perk on it will give you a 20% chance to cripple your target's leg, which works very well with explosive weapons as it will apply that effect to every target around the explosion. Again, most people wouldn't think to kill Suggs as he is required for that side quest, and you can only get the Flacker by killing him before giving him the schematic. So this is another weapon that most people will completely miss. To get the next weapon on this list, you will first need to reach level 20. Then you can go over to the Oberlin Station settlement. From here, walk east until you reach this crashed UFO. Around the UFO, you will find a trail of green blood that you can follow to this cave. And in this cave, you will find an alien enemy that you can kill to get the secret alien blaster weapon. This isn't a legendary weapon, but it is still a very strong weapon that does a lot of damage. And you can also bring it to a weapon bench to modify it and make it use a more common ammo type, as the alien blaster ammo that comes with it cannot be found in the game after you use all of it. To get the next weapon, you will need to start the Mechanical Menace side quest. This side quest will pop up once you reach level 15, and it will be the start of the questline for the Automatron DLC, which will just be a few quests long. But when you reach the point in this questline that will take you to the Fort Hagen satellite array, look for this chest at the end of the area, and in this chest you will find the legendary salvaged Assaultron Head. This is another very powerful weapon. You will need to charge it up similarly to a laser musket, but with 5 charges you will be able to pretty much one-shot most enemies in the game. But the perk on this weapon will make the weapon inflict 50 radiation damage to you every time you shoot it, regardless of how charged up it is. So yes, it will do a lot of damage, but it will also damage you. But continuing the questline for the Automatron DLC can also get you a second legendary weapon that you can miss by choosing the wrong ending for this quest. That weapon will be the legendary Protectron Gaze laser pistol. At the end of the questline, you will face off against the Mechanist, and if you choose to defeat them, you can loot the Protectron Gaze off of their body. This is a pretty decent weapon, and the perk on it will increase its rate of fire by 25% and make it reload 15% faster. You will also be able to loot the legendary Mechanist armor and helmet off of the Mechanist body, which will give you 1 endurance, 1 charisma, 1 intelligence, and the perk on it will decrease the damage you take from robots by 15%. To get the next weapon, head over to the Pikmin Gallery. When you get here, you will need to take out all of the raiders in this gallery as you make your way to the secret tunnels underneath the gallery, and here you will find Pikmin being held up by a few more raiders. Now if you choose to defend Pikmin, he will give you a key to the safe in the first room of the gallery, and in that safe you will find the legendary Pikmins Blade. This is an amazing legendary melee weapon as it will have a fast attack speed, and the perk on it will apply a bleed effect to your target, which will do an extra 25 damage to your target. But on top of that, it will come with a stealth blade, which will increase the damage the weapon does when you're doing sneak attacks. The next weapon will come from the Echo Lake Lumber location in Far Harbor. When you get here, you will need to clear out all of the ghouls, then look for this ruined building. Then make your way to the attic of this building, and here you will find a red chest with the legendary Harvester weapon inside of it. This is another very overpowered weapon that you can easily miss. The Harvester will have a low base damage, but it will also have a very fast attack speed, and it will act like a chainsaw. So even though you will only do small amounts of damage to your enemies every time you hit them, you will hit them many times in a short amount of time. And the perk on the Harvester will give you a chance to stagger your enemies every time you hit them, which can result in you stun locking your enemies so they can't fight back. The next weapon on the list will also come from Far Harbor. To get it, grab Nick Valentine, then head over to the Vim Pop Factory. Then you will need to make your way to this room with the 2 large vats inside of it, and at the back of this room you will find an elevator that will take you to a secret lab. Now if Nick Valentine is with you when you get here, the door to the secret lab will be unlocked, and in that lab you will find the legendary December's Child rifle. This is a great weapon that can be missed completely if you get locked out of the lab by failing a speech check, or by not having Nick Valentine here with you when you first enter the lab. The perk on the December's Child will make it lighter than every other rifle and make it use 5.56 ammo, but it will also increase its rate of fire by 25% and make reloading 15% faster. And while you're in Far Harbor, there will also be one more secret weapon that you can get. To get it, you will need to head over to the Cliff's Edge Hotel, then make your way to the basement, and here you will find Vault 118. When interacting with the controls for the vault door, a voice will come over the intercom and ask if you're the detective that the vault dwellers called for. If you say yes, they will let you in and a very interesting side quest will start. But if you don't feel like completing that side quest, you can go into the main ballroom of the vault, then go to the couch on the right, and here you will find the legendary Fence Buster. This is another decent legendary weapon that can do some good damage if you're using a melee build, and the perk on it will make the weapon ignore 30% of your target's damage and energy resistances. The next weapon on the list will be another legendary baseball bat, but to get it you will need to go to the Safari Park in Nuka World and talk to Cedo. At first, Cedo will come off as a crazy caveman that you can kill to be able to take over the park. But if you talk to Cedo nicely and agree to help him protect his family, and also allow him to peacefully live in the park after it's cleared out, he will give you the legendary Cedo's Shiny Slugger. This is another very strong melee weapon due to its high base damage and the perk on it which will refill your action points on critical hits, so it will work very well with melee builds. And the final weapon on the list will come from the Nuka World Arcade. When you get here, you will need to play some of the games in the arcade to earn a little over 6,000 tickets. I think it's 6,250 tickets in total. Then you can take those tickets to the prize terminal and go to the level 5 prizes. And here you can use those tickets to buy the legendary Acid Soaker weapon. Now I'll be honest, the Acid Soaker isn't really that great of a weapon as it will mainly be used to apply a damage over time effect to your target, and it will use acid as ammo. But it is a legendary weapon that a lot of people don't know is in the game, and it's also not too hard to get the tickets required for this weapon just to add it to your collection. And those are 12 weapons that you don't want to miss in Fallout 4, but I would love to know which of them are your favorites in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.